Hello, my name is Amarjot Singh, and I'm here to present you a federal court case in Canada about a student visa refusal. If you are aware about student visa business in Canada, you would know that approximately 500,000 students every year come from abroad into Canada, bringing in close to $15 billion. So, student visa business is big all over the world. Out of this 500,000, approximately 100,000 students are coming from India. If you are in the student counseling business or if you're in the student visa application business, and if your student visa file is refused, do you know what factors to look, or how do you reapply? How do you analyze the factors and what options are available? To reflect on these factors, we will see a federal court case. This case was in 2015, as you see on the screen. The date is given here on the right, the docket number, citation, everything is. You can uh, take this information and put this in on Google search, and you will be able to find the case on your own. This is between Fawzia Yaqub and Minister of Citizenship and Immigration. So Fawzia Yaqub is the applicant, and as you can see on the screen, Fawzia Yaqub is the Pakistani citizen. She is challenging the decision of the visa officer in 2015, rejecting her request for study permit. So let's take a look at what goes on, what was the background of the case, and try to understand. So this is the decision that was given by the visa officer in her application. Case reviewed along with supporting documents. Client is seeking to study at Sheridan College in the field of business administration marketing for 3-year diploma. Client already has an MBA, so that I've highlighted already, and is working in the relevant field. Client has previously been refused to study permit. That means this is her third attempt, and the client proposed path for continuing education does not make sense as they already have an MBA, so that this type of diploma is not going to enhance any more career prospects. So that's some factors to be cognizant of. She already has an MBA. She's already been refused 2 times. She is applying for a a smaller diploma. It's not like a master's degree diploma. It's a business administration for a 3-year diploma, and the visa officer feels that this is not going to enhance her career. It's not going to much change anything because she already has a master's degree. Further, it does not make sense to invest such a large sum of money in the diploma program. After reviewing all aspects, I'm not satisfied that the proposed studies make sense and justify the expense of studying in Canada. So that's the main thing. Let's look at what happens based on information. I'm not satisfied that she's well established and would be a genuine student. Uh, you know, the comments that you read on the screen now. This is uh, these are the comments from the judge. But I don't want to read each and everything. But just very quickly, the reasons exude a suspicion that Ms. Yaqub application was being made for an improper purpose. Since the officer decision required to be based on evidence, examination evidence before the officer must be carefully considered to determine whether the reasons provided can be supported. So that's the thought. What other things have been listed? The evidence submitted on behalf of Ms. Yaqub in the court examination is the Ms. Yaqub reasons for applying for study permit are described in council letter on the program of study, blah 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 blah. So this is the council's letter, and you can. I just wanted to show you some highlighted thing. What I have. The council is saying that Fawzia is looking to develop a more in-depth understanding of business administration with emphasis on marketing. So even though she has an MBA, and I think she's already working in Pakistan with this diploma at Sheridan College, Fawzia is looking to develop a more in-depth understanding of business administration with emphasis on marketing. Please note. All right. So this is what the applicant was proposing to the visa officer. Further, having developed acute awareness of international trends while working in National Bank of Pakistan, she wishes to combine her knowledge in banking and business administration with new trends and new knowledge in marketing, a subject she is very much interested in and wants to pursue even further. She believes that the business administration and marketing program at Sheridan College will provide her with professional step she needs in order to advance in her career and give a competitive edge in increasing popular field. So further, Look at the highlighted. An additional reason for choosing a Canadian institution was that her eldest brother Naeem is a Canadian citizen already in Canada and is willing to help her while in Canada. So further, it seems like she has some family relatives also in Canada. So just to balance out the whole facts. In addition, she also has another brother, Sohail, who's a permanent resident since 2013, currently looking for a job. So she has two family members, one close, other distant, already in Canada. All right. So what other things are we having here? Look at. So this is just the background information about what she studied in Pakistan, Karachi, Pakistan, and what she worked and everything is. You can read through it. After obtaining a master's degree, Fawzia commenced looking for a job. She will had a project officer with Standard Chartered, blah blah. Okay, as you find, look at towards the information on what are the Pakistan versus ties to Canada. Fawzia's mother, Sabamim, Fatima, her brother Shakil Ahmed, the physician and his sister, all live in Karachi. They're very close knit families, support each other in every aspect. Fawzia has good position retained, blah blah blah. Fawzia has two brothers in Canada, Naeem Ahmed and Sohail Ahmed from PR, and as Fawzia will go on to say, eldest brother Naeem was looking to support Fawzia during her stay in Canada. On balance, Fawzia's ties to Pakistan are stronger than ties to Canada, which I personally disagree. I think she has, more binding ties towards Canada because of the two brothers, but that is what Fawzia is saying in her application. Uh, uh, as far as Yaqub's future intention, the following statements are supplied under the heading temporary status and dual intent. So dual intent is, for example, even though your application is for study permit, you possibly are an intending immigrant, but you are not precluded from applying for a temporary visa at the same time, even though that may transition into PR. So that's what dual intent, and I think they have mentioned, should Fawzia be issued a study permit, she understand the temperature, including blah blah. We don't want to read all this. That's fine. You can read through it. So dual intent is okay, and everything is okay. So let us see what else is going on here. Obviously, the officer's reasons are completely unresponsive to the apparently forthright and transparent evidence Ms. Yaqub submitted, and thus it is reasonable to conclude that the evidence was disregarded. As a result, the question is, what evidentiary reason would cause the suspicion exposed and reason to rise? Given the dearth of any other reason supported by the evidence, it is clear that Ms. Yaqub's history with the High Commission Karachi was central to rejection. So the counsel for the applicant is proposing there was no other reason for the visa officer to show that she is not eligible for the visa except what her previous two times refusal was, something relating to this third time as well. So that's what they are saying. It is clear that Ms. Yaqub's history with the High Commission of Karachi was central to rejection. All right. So the conclusion is based on officer's statement, the client has previously been refused two SPs, and based on information filed, I'm not satisfied. So here's something to understand. If I'm applying for the third time, fourth time, or fifth time, the same study permit application, and if there is no obvious weak documents on money, finances, on your connection to your homeland or to your proposed career plan after studying whatever you have studied, if the rejection letter says that the client has previously been refused two SPs, and based on the information on file, I'm not satisfied that the PA is well established in Pakistan, would be a genuine student. I think this is possibly the prime reason. The previous two rejection is possibly the prime reason why the visa officer is thinking that the third study permit application itself is not showing genuine intent. So I think this is what the council is looking to attack in the analysis of the court. In my opinion, it is these statements that expose the unfounded suspicion that with respect to Yaqub's third application, she was not telling the truth about her professional life and family life in Pakistan and interest in business administration, marketing program with Sheridan College. All right, so let's see. Yaqub's counsel directly addressed. We note that Fawzia previously filed two separate applications for study permit. Her first application was in 2012. There's another refusal decision you can read there. And I think the second one is probably again June 2013. Fawzi made yet another application which was also refused in June, and then it says travel history, family ties, and purpose, and everything. So in the third attempt, I think she had mentioned everything about travel history, family ties in Canada, the purpose of visit, the personal assets, also money shown, good, and still based on no other solid reason, the visa officer rejected the third time. And the reason what they have what they have catched is that based on previous two applications which were refused third time, I'm not convinced. Which I think the judge will not find it reasonable. We'll see what happens. All right. So here's so this is the decision by the judge. If you look at, they are looking at under two factors. First one is reasonableness of the decision. I find that the visa officer decision is unreasonable. Besides the existence of justification, transparency, and intelligibility, reasonableness in decision making is concerned whether the decision falls within a range of possible acceptable outcomes which are defensible in respect of facts and law. Dunsmuir versus New Brunswick, there's a mention of the case. The officer decision is not defensible in respect of the facts. All right, so that's one reason. That's one reason. What I predicted, that it's not reasonable for them to use this logic. The second is breach of duty of fairness. Now, if Ms. Yaqub's credibility was the central issue in the decision, I find that the officer breached a duty of fairness owed to her by failing to provide her the opportunity of an interview to allow her to disabuse the officer's mind. If the visa officer was not satisfied about her anything, whatever, whether her study plans or whether how this diploma actually furthers her career interest or professional, progress, the office, according to the judge, the officer should have provided her an opportunity of an interview to correct the suspicion in the officer's mind, which they failed to do. This is called breach of duty of fairness, and that's why based on these two, one is the reasonable visa officer decision is unreasonable, and second is the applicant was not provided a chance to be interviewed so that the applicant can clarify some doubts, some lingering doubts. That is why, based on this, I think the judge is going to rule in positive in favor of the applicant. Let's see what happens. So the relief, as a result, the officer decision must be set aside. Here it is. And Ms. Yaqub application for a study permit must be redetermined. So that is to say that, visa officer, third time refusal, I don't buy it. I think you are wrong. This application should be redetermined by we'll see, maybe in a different officer or in different office, and will be redecided again. So I agree with the counsel of Mr. Yaqub that the redetermination must be conducted by a different official at a different location in the High Commission. So the counsel for Ms. Yaqub was not satisfied that the High Commission in Islamabad, where it has already been refused twice and third time, that this can be redecided again at the same office, because according to them the visa section of the visa officers share the same thoughts about this applicant. So I think the council said that this should be transferred to a different High Commission, and we will see where. At the conclusion of the hearing of present application, I orally expressed my opinion as stated in this reason, and subsequently the respondent confirmed that the redetermination can be done at the High Commission of Canada in New Delhi. That's interesting. So the application will be redecided at the High Commission of Canada in New Delhi, and I think I do not know. I'm sure she got the visa, but that's what decided. So here's the final judgment in this language. The court judgment is that decision under review is set aside. That means cancelled, and the matter is referred back to redetermination by a different official on the following directions. So by High Commission of Canada in New Delhi, and if on redetermination a concern arises that Ms. Yaqub application does not meet the requirements of Section 2116 of IRPA, an interview of Ms. Yaqub be conducted in person, by teleconference or by video conference. So Hey, another application, the visa officer, if they are not satisfied, I think, I'm sure they will be satisfied this time, but the applicant should be given a chance to interview by teleconference or video conference in presence of a representative if she so requests. So that's what the thing is. I think this is a successful appeal by the council, and I think in this case maybe some money was also given. $500 was given to the applicants. There's no question. Douglas Campbell, judge. So that's what it is. In nutshell, let me just summarize what I wanted to display to you about this case. One is, if your student visa application is refused, so you have to first assess whether you think, and then you have to put forth these comments again to the federal court, is if you think the visa officer's decision was unreasonable. Of course, that's what happened here. And second, if and of course the judge may not agree with you, but you can put forth your argument that you find that the decision was not reasonable. And the second is, if the applicant was given a chance to interview, so that whatever suspicions lie in the mind of the visa officer, that they were given a chance. So if they were not given a chance to interview or for personal examination, then this is a breach of duty of fairness, and by this alone, I think the applicant has a good chance of winning in the federal court as well. So that's what it is. I mean, if your visa application is refused, and it could be even for work permit or pretty much any temporary visa, so you can deploy these reasons, and file a successful challenge in a federal court, and and have a good chance of reversal. But it's always not, I mean, as you know, in law, it's nothing is guaranteed. But hey, this case exemplifies what worked in her case, and pretty much you can also learn from it, and maybe use it in your case as well. So one more time, the case is here. I'm just going to Fawzia Yaqub and Minister of Immigration. All right, so you type Fawzia Yaqub, Minister of Immigration, in Google, and you will see it. All right, thank you very much for your time. And if you have any comments, your comments are appreciated. Please write your comments, and share it with other people, whomever you want to impart this awareness. All right, thank you very much.